Lawmakers from both parties will join veterans today to announce a new effort in Congress to help service members who say that toxic burn pits made them sick. More than 3 million U.S. veterans may have come into contact with dangerous fumes while serving at overseas bases, where waste ignited by jet fuel was burned in those giant pits. Former Daily Show host, that's Jon Stewart, is part of the effort to push the VA into doing more for veterans who were exposed. Kris Van Cleave is on Capitol Hill. Kris, this is a big story. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Gayle. Think of these burn pits as basically giant dumpster fires spewing toxic fumes. They've been linked to some cancers and other ailments like lung issues. But right now, the VA requires a veteran to prove a link between an illness and burn pit exposure. That can mean paying out of pocket for blood tests and doctors. And advocates say even then, the vast majority of claims are denied. This new legislation would change that.
When you sign up and join the military, you are told you will be taken care of. You're told if you go over. Sorry, I just need a minute.
Jen Howard is only speaking out because her husband Jason wanted their story told.
Has your husband been taken care of?
By organizations that help vets, yes. By the VA system, no.
A Marine veteran, Jason, did 2 tours in Iraq. While there, his wife says he worried about exposure to toxic fumes from pits where trash was burned.
And they burned pretty much everything. They couldn't necessarily read what all of the chemicals were because it was in, Arabic. They just said it was just smoke, fire, burning waste, burning human waste, burning chemical waste.
14 years later, the quiet, dedicated father began having headaches.
Within months, doctors found the source, glioblastoma, the same terminal brain cancer that killed President Biden's son, Beau, who spent a year serving in Iraq. Then candidate Biden brought up the issue of burn pits at a 2019 town hall.
Because of his exposure to burn pits, in my view, I can't prove it yet, he came back with stage 4 glioblastoma.
At least 230 burn pits were used at bases in Iraq and Afghanistan. One of the largest, Balad Air Base, where a 10-acre trash heap was burning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In 2015, an Inspector General report called it indefensible that U.S. military personnel who are already at risk fighting overseas were put at further risk from the use of open-air burn pits.
I kept saying, my husband is going to die before you even give him a yes or no.
To get help from the VA, Jason Howard and other suffering veterans have to first provide a direct service connection between their ailments and burn pit exposure. Jason's paperwork is still being reviewed.
It should not be left to veterans to dig in their own pockets, to do their own research, to hire their own lawyers to prove that they were exposed.
New legislation from New York Senator Kirsten Gillibrand would make the process easier, requiring a veteran prove only they were deployed in an area where burn pits were used in order to qualify for help from the VA.
If you get any of these diseases, any of these cancers that are known to be linked with the kind of toxins that were emitted, that you are presumptively covered and you will receive the health care benefits that you've earned.
Her bill has bipartisan support. Republican Senator Marco Rubio is a co-sponsor.
No more bureaucratic studies, no more bureaucratic red tape.
And it has some star power attached too.
The worst case scenario is that we grant health care to a veteran suffering a terrible disease.
Jon Stewart joined the cause 2 years ago, seeing parallels in his battle to create permanent benefits for 9/11 first responders.
This is the true cost of war. Don't make the veterans pay for your budgeting error. If you didn't put this into the total price, that's on you. Not on the families, not on the veterans. That's on the government.
What is your message to lawmakers? Because they've listened to you in the past.
Congress is a wonderful place to wave a flag. Well, you can't just say we support the troops and then abandon them when the troops need support.
The Howards hope with this legislation, the next family in their situation won't spend their last days together battling the Veterans Administration.
President Biden has said he wants to see this addressed. Senator Gillibrand hopes to get a vote on it this year. The VA declined comment on pending legislation, but pointed to ongoing burn pit research. The agency also has a burn pit registry. More than 200,000 veterans and service members have already signed up, but that does not guarantee them coverage. Anthony?
Well, you sure feel for the Howard family, Kris. Thank you very much. I didn't know much about burn pits. But
No, me neither. Thanks to Jon Stewart, too, also for speaking up on this. And it's such a drastic difference when you see her husband before and when
after.
you see her husband after.
Yeah,
I did not
cost.
realize
That should
it was
not be.
I did not realize it was so personal to Joe Biden as well.
I did
nor
not
us.
either.
To Joe Biden's story.
And as Jon
Or to
Stewart says,
Joe Biden's story.
as Jon Stewart says, the worst case scenario is you grant health care to suffering veterans.
Yeah.